Thanks for joining us here on the Bearcats Sports Network. It's time to talk spring football with McKendree head coach Mike Babcock. And Coach, we're at the halfway point of spring practice. I know it's flown by for you guys. Give us your general impressions the first half of spring camp.
Well, I think with anything with a new defensive staff, there's always a learning curve, especially with young guys. But I think at the halfway point, I'm pleasantly surprised. I am both sides of the ball. I think both sides are going hard. I think there's a couple guys that are really stepping up into some key positions right here. We've got some new leaders this year that's always nice to see as it comes out. So overall, pleasantly surprised on where we're at.
Talk about some of those surprises. I know in getting back to the fall, obviously you lose a bunch of starters, seniors that graduate and move on, and now you've got sophomores and juniors and other guys moving into those roles. Talk about what you've seen.
Well, on the offensive side of the ball, obviously losing a 3-year starting quarterback, is always tough. And I've got 3 guys that are truly competing for the job, and I think in no way, shape, or form are any of them, way ahead of the other guy right now. But I know, Turner Poland, Brendan Dickman, Antonio Triplett, all 3 of those guys are just, bang, bang, trying to get the job. It's always fun. I think Jace Franklin, a tailback that we have that got a lot of playing time last year and kind of split time between him and Preston Thompson. I think he's doing a very good job as well. And then it's really fun to see the young wide receivers. I've got basically 3 or 4 true freshman wide receivers that are rolling with the 1s and the 2s. So, we're definitely young on that side of the ball, but those guys are actually getting a lot of reps and performing at a higher level just because of, how many reps they get in practice. Defensively, a couple guys on defense that are starting to get some more and more reps. Jalen Gaskin, Josh Assell on the defensive line. Our defensive line is playing very, very well. I know at corner with James Young, moving on and graduating. Guys like Darwin Perkins, are able to kind of step into that role as well. And then honestly, it's a fight for the safety position. A lot of guys are kind of fighting for that spot. That Blake Benoist and Josh Lovings, have had over the last 2 years, and so it's kind of exciting to see how that'll turn out, in the last half of spring ball.
I know we talked about this being the midpoint of spring practice. Knowing what you anticipated coming into practice, is the team where you think it would be heading into this midpoint?
Well, I think every coach wishes, and especially when you draw it up on a board, wishes that you were 100%, all the time. That just is never the case, in anything that I've been at. And so, obviously, we still have a ways to go. I think there are some spots that I think that we are ahead of the game. And then there are some spots where we just need to continue to pick up the pace. So we're about where we're at right now. Hopefully we can kind of finish these last 7-8 practices on a high note and finish it off with a nice spring game.
One thing we didn't touch on, midweek you had your first scrimmage leading up to the spring game, which will come in 2 weeks. Talk about the scrimmage and what you saw there.
It's a little bit different even when you just go normal pads and team, and then all of a sudden you say it's a scrimmage. The lights kind of turn on. Right. And that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see, can we put everything together? We didn't have any new install on either side of the ball. But who's going to step up and make a play? The quarterback's under pressure. Can they make a throw to a wide receiver? Can a linebacker, a defensive back in the open field make a tackle in open space? Those are the big things that I was looking at. And there were pluses and minuses on both sides. But again, it was fun to watch.
Coach, 2 weeks left of spring ball before the spring game that comes on April 13th. What do you want to see out of your players at this point?
Well, I want to see, them continue to progress and get better. The installs, there might be 1 or 2 tweaks from here on out, but the majority of it is already in. So continue to work on the details, continue to work on the process of what it takes to be a championship program, and the little things and making sure that you're doing it right. That's really what I want to see. I want to see guys on defense flying around, having fun, creating turnovers. I want to see guys on offense executing at a high level, be extremely physical, and most importantly, get in that end zone. So definitely exciting to see.
Well, Coach, thanks for taking time out of your busy spring schedule. We'll talk to you before the spring game.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Don't forget you can continue to follow McKendree football as well as the rest of our athletic programs at www.mckbearcats.com.